So, just a few words about this day and about this season, where we are right now. The season of Lent is a time when we traditionally reflect on our own mortality, and we are getting in touch with the fact that we are incarnated beings. And that means we're born, that we feel, we experience, we suffer, we have joy. All of that is part of what it is to be human, to be here on this earth. And so the ashes traditionally are burned from the palm trees of the previous year's Palm Sunday, the palm leaves that are waved symbolically now to Jesus as he enters Jerusalem in the week before his death. And then this little bit of earth, this incarnated bit of earth in the form of a plant, is burned, and then those ashes are put on our foreheads. And the theme of ashes has just been so present with me the past month. My super beloved pet died, and I just got his ashes like 2 days ago. So like I literally have ashes on my table downstairs. And when we went to go pick them up, there were two. When we got home and unpacked it, there were two boxes. And we were like, oh my gosh, did we get someone else's pet in addition to our own? Like, which one is ours? So there was actually this confusion over ashes. It turns out that they both are ours. We purchased something apparently that split them up into two boxes. So we're going to be consolidating those ashes actually really soon. But there's something about this like very grittiness of just a little pet in my house, a little but very important pet in my household that's now ashes. Right, just really putting me in touch with that immediate mortality that is part of our world. It's a precious part of our world, and also a very difficult part of our world. And you also may be suffering from those who have died in the past, weeks, months. I'm also thinking about the ashes in Ukraine of burned buildings, of burned bodies. And that's taken on a new level of significance for me on this Ash Wednesday. That these ashes are not part of the sacred process of dying, but they're part of an unholy process of destruction. And that's bothering me. That's really, really bothering me. And so these ashes, it's really complicated, right? It's very layered. And I think it's okay for it to be layered for us. That's something that we can handle. It is part of our human experience. And part of the Jesus following experience, and I think knowing some of you here, we have a whole range of how people experience Jesus. Some of you are kind of probably in the traditional Jesus as Savior camp. Some of you are in the Jesus as friend and companion. So however it is that you define your experience with Jesus, part of what is special about that journey is that Jesus is part of God who became incarnate like us. Like Jesus also had a body that was frail, and Jesus also died, and Jesus also had this relationship to being in the world that's filled with joy and trauma and hope and despair, all of that that we can experience, Jesus also could and did experience. And Jesus laughed and ate and drank and probably rolled in the grass and the dirt and probably sprained his ankle from time to time, and just had this full range of what it was to be human. And I just find that so comforting in my own trials, especially when I'm super annoyed or when I'm super, when I'm super irritated or angry at the world. And Jesus himself died. His mortal flesh was wounded and died at the hands of an unjust state. And we know that people in the Ukraine are experiencing that unjustness now too. And we are companioned with someone who intimately understands what that is like. So today we are remembering that we are incarnated with our bodies in our 3-day experience. We're all going to have our ups and our downs in life, and we're all going to learn through these experiences. And this is a day when we remember that we also are mortal. We also are made of dust, and that dustiness is part of our human experience. We're made of dust, and we'll return to dust. So I want to hold some space for this tenderness, because confronting one's own dustiness, it's not easy. Even for those of us that are kind of metaphysically minded, and we know that our souls are eternal. We know that we are going to experience continuous life and journeying. Still, we've chosen to be here in these bodies, in this time, and in this place. And I do believe that all of you are chosen, and you've chosen to be here and to enter into this kind of process for understanding where the world is right now. So let's hold a little bit of space for this. I'm going to guide us in a guided meditation to help experience some self-love for ourselves, because so often we forget to cherish our wonderful, beautifully made bodies. So we want to take some tenderness for that and really let sink in all these juxtapositions that we're living with as a globe right now, that you are living with as a precious individual as well. So I'm just going to invite you, and if you have physical limitations, just please make this work for you. Make this your own throughout. So I'm going to invite you to place your hands on your body and just give yourself some self-love. If that's ever not comfortable, please, hands in lap is just fine. And just kind of beaming self-love to yourself is also totally great. So again, make this your own. So I'm just going to put my hands right here on my face. I invite you to maybe explore your face for a moment, fingertips. Our faces change so much throughout our lives, but I always love it when I can look at a picture of someone when they were a toddler and recognize them. There's also something that's so recognizable about our faces. Just give your face that is your postcard to the world a little bit of love. Just realize how tender and beautiful it is. You might explore your hair and your ears, the back of your head. I invite you to do the same with your shoulders. I find it incredibly uncomfortable to do this, so I'm just going to cross mine. And often our shoulders are way up by our ears because we often carry a lot of stress, a lot of tension there. So you might even just give yourself a little self-love by kneading your shoulders just a little bit, your neck, and sending that self-love to this part of you. And really let your shoulders know how much you care for them, how grateful you are for them. See if any of those burdens lighten just a little. I'm going to do the same motion on my knees. You can cross hands to knees. In fact, if you can cross your hands, I highly recommend it because it helps your parasympathetic nervous system when we can cross the plane of our midsection like that. And often our knees can get super cranky. And it's a part of our body that we don't think about until something goes wrong. When it goes wrong, it's So just send your knees some self-love. Thank them for everything that they've done for you up until now. If they're cranky at all, you can send them even a little more self-love. Let them know you appreciate them anyway. Part of what it is to be incarnated is to have things that get creaky once in a while. And then whatever's most comfortable for you, on your belly, on your stomach, just invite you to put some tender hands there. This is a very kind of exposed part for us. It's where all of our vital organs, not all of them, but many of our vital organs are. Just invite you to send yourself self-love. If any judgment or thoughts about the body creep in, I invite you to gently let them sweep to the side. And now, wherever it is in you that could use self-love right now, any part of you, I invite you to either place your hands there, or if that's too awkward or not available, you can just imaginatively send self-love there. And let yourself have that experience of loving the part of you that needs it the very, very most. And you have an invitation now to symbolically imagine that you are receiving ashes, maybe from one of these archangels, maybe from Christ himself, maybe as a gift from Mother Earth, from Gaia. They arrive in your own hand. You're invited to impose your own ashes the traditional ways in the shape of a cross, but you can do that in any way that makes the most sense to you: a star, a circle, any symbol of hope for yourself. The traditional words here are you are made from dust, and to dust you shall return.